Hey, Robert Kiefer here with Hydro Hero, and we just wrapped up another crawl space that we're going to go review. We're going to check out what it looked like when we first got there and scoped it out, and then what it looked like when we're all finished, and we're going to do that right after this. Okay, so here we are in this crawl space. Now, when we first inspected it, these are the photos that was taken. So as you can see, the insulation has fell, and that's due to high humidity, and that's what causes what I like to call stalactites of insulation. So the moisture comes from the ground and comes through the block, raises the humidity, it condensates back on the wood as it reaches the dew point and on the insulation. And once there's enough water accumulated on the insulation, it starts to deteriorate and fall down to the ground on its own weight. And then what that does, all the insulation loses its R value, and it doesn't insulate very well anymore. So that is a one thing that you have to consider that's going on in your crawl space if it isn't conditioned properly. So now we'll move to another photo here. So here you can see that the mold is growing on the bottom of the floor joist. Again, this is organic food source for microbes and fungi to turn around and grow on. So as the dew points reach in these high humidity levels, it's this cold surface here, and then forms condensation, and then the mold starts growing there. And then through the stack effect, this mold gets drawn up through your house, all the way up through the attic and then out. Now we'll go to another one here. All right, so you guys can see just how bad this really is. This is not a groundwater intrusion problem that was really bad. The soil was actually very dry in this one, but it had a humidity issue. And these vents that used to be thought that it was good that you can keep these open and that air would exchange and that would keep the crawl space dry has been proven to be absolutely wrong. So even though that's code, that isn't correct anymore. So you don't find much of these open vents installed anymore. Most of your new builders are closing, not putting in vents, and they're conditioning the crawl space. Now, whether they're doing it properly or not, that is a whole other debate, and plenty of videos I'll show you about how they do it versus how we do it and why there's such a big difference and why they keep running into problems. But you want these vents closed, or the hot, humid air from outside is going to come through, and it's going to condensate and it's going to deteriorate everything that's inside the crawl space, not just the insulation, not just mold growth on there, but it's going to destroy the HVAC system if it's down there, and can lead to things like termites and other things. So here looks like there was some attempt to do something here and maybe block this off, but whatever it was, the workmanship was totally awful. So here you can start seeing fungi grow. This is lignin that's left behind. These are what's called mycelial fans that are attached into the wood here. And this is how fungi grows and decomposes cellulose material, and then also releases spores and keeps settling on new surfaces that start spreading and growing and growing and growing. So that is one of the things that we're looking for here. This gets out of control. It can totally decay the wood, and you can be looking at not only water damage that's from mold, you can also be looking at structural stabilization costs too, and that just drives up the repairs even further. That's why you want to get this stuff really taken care of sooner. So here's another photo that we took when we were there. As you can see, it just looks like a little horror house down here. There you go, some more. You can tell that the top of the vapor barrier is covered in water too. And again, that's not from standing water. That's water that's trapped from all the condensation that's been dripping on top of the vapor barrier. Then it can't make it back into the soil. So it's just recycling it over and over and over, just making it worse and worse. All right, here's one of our guys. This is Rick crawling through there with me as we scope this out. and see just how god awful this is. So you need a proper vapor barrier on the ground, the columns wrapped and sealed, leaving a gap for termite inspection, and also on the foundation walls, leaving that gap. You got to close the vents, you got to wrap the columns, seal the walls, seal the liner to both the walls and the columns, and turn around and lock out all the moisture in a vapor phase that's coming into this crawl space. And then you got to get a dehumidification system in there, your engineering controls. Here's just another shot. You can see how bad this is, right? You can see spiders, that are up in there. This is just horrible. This is mold that's growing along here as well. You can tell that there's a difference in how white this is, right? So this is just your typical black 6mm vapor barrier that's laid on the ground, and it's not really doing much anything because it's not wrapped around these pillars or columns and up on the foundation wall sealed properly. So here you go. This is just laid back. You can see that there's moisture collecting in the block here. It turns around and this soil is wet, and this isn't all sealed. All this evaporates as everything tries to seek its an equilibrium, right? So the moisture in the ground is trying to equalize with the air, and it evaporates up into the air, which raises that humidity and causes you more problems. Here we go again. More insulation falling, just overall bad. Not too bad for what we see every day. It looks horrible, but the mold could be worse. So this was getting fixed here. All right. And then this is the job all complete. The wood's been remediated. We have the columns or pillars wrapped. We have our inspection gap. We have the insulated liner on the walls. We have the insulated liner on the floors. We got everything sealed up properly. We got good engineering controls here. This dehumidifier will keep the relative humidity around 45%. It's being ducted all the way around to the opposite side and balancing out the drying system. All right, here we go. It's all taken care of now. This is what a proper, good encapsulation looks like. So now all the moisture problems have been solved, and this guy has a wonderful waterproofing and encapsulated crawl space, and he won't have to worry about these issues anymore. So if you guys have a crawl space that hasn't been encapsulated, not every company really knows what they're doing. They're not going to produce work like this for you. It's few and far between. But please give us a call. We'd love to give you an estimate and show you why we are considered some of the best in the industry. And we would really like to earn your business. So give us a call at Hydro Heroes at 302-321-7077 or find us on the web at waterandmoldpros.com. Thanks so much for watching.